cases that you can't adequately protect devices you don't know about. The Nozomi solution discovers OT-end devices such as industrial controllers, HMIs, and engineering workstations by passively listening to the traffic flowing through the OT networks, which is then using parsers to extract information such as make, model, serial number, operating system, firmware version from the industrial protocols used by the OT devices to communicate with each other. This is a purely passive process with no scanning and no installed agents, something that is extremely important as many OT systems can become unstable or stop working altogether if new traffic is randomly introduced. It is worth noting that the Nozomi solution runs all of its protocol parsers continuously, whereas many of our competitors can only run a subset of theirs at any given time, increasing the chance of not identifying some devices. Whilst the Nozomi solution is building its inventory, it cross-compares discovered devices with a database of vulnerabilities known as common vulnerabilities and exposures, or CVEs, to identify which installed devices have known vulnerabilities and the severity of these vulnerabilities. Nozomi curates vulnerability information it obtains from the National Vulnerability Database, OT vendors, and OT cybersecurity community, as well as original security research carried out at the Nozomi labs in Mendrisio, Switzerland. The quality of this research and our history of responsible disclosure has resulted in Nozomi being certified as a global CVE numbering authority, the only OT vendor to achieve this. Occasionally, we find a protocol the Nozomi solution doesn't already support, in which case we have the option of either using the inbuilt scripting language to write a new parser on the fly, or having a new parser added to the Guardian Sensor code base. Scripted parsers are usually developed by our field engineers on site, whereas parsers added to the product code base are developed by our engineering team in Switzerland as a free service, which typically takes between a few days to a few weeks, depending on the complexity of the protocol. Known threat detection. Nozomi provides two approaches to known threat detection. The first is hard-coded logic built into each Nozomi Guardian sensor that looks for known bad behaviors, such as port scans, man-in-the-middle attacks, the use of default passwords, as well as potentially dangerous operations, such as changes to industrial controller programming or firmware, something that's an absolutely normal part of OT system operation, but could have devastating effects if part of a cyber attack. The second is the use of signatures that include packet rules, which are compared against each and every packet moving across the OT network, YARA rules used to detect malware within files transferred across the OT network, and STIX indicators, which reflect the cyber reputation of external sites. These signatures are developed by Nozomi Network Labs in response to new vulnerabilities and are written in industry standard formats. Vulnerability information, together with associated signatures, are continuously updated and made available via the Vantage Cloud platform, the Nozomi Threat Feed portal, or they can be manually downloaded. Anomaly-based intrusion detection. The Nozomi solution detects the effects of unknown threats by looking for anomalous system behavior, now a requirement of many industrial security standards. It does this by first baselining normal operation, for example, which end devices exist in the OT system, which devices are talking to which other devices, the frequency of the communications, the industrial protocols used, etc. This baselining occurs whilst the Nozomi system is in learning mode and can last from a few days to a few weeks, depending on the process being monitored. Once baselined, the Nozomi solution is moved into protect mode, which then looks for any deviation from the baseline. For example, a new laptop connecting to the network, or an end device talking with a device it's never talked to before. Because system operation is monitored down to process variable level, the inputs and outputs previously discussed, the Nozomi solution can detect subtle changes in how two devices are communicating. For example, device A, which usually reads from device B, suddenly starts writing to device B. This minor change to system operation might result in switching off the power to a suburb or changing the quantity of a compound in a tablet. Asset intelligence. Baselining can be further enhanced by using the optional always-on Nozomi Asset Intelligence feed. This feed leverages research undertaken by our Nozomi Network Labs to characterize the normal operation of over 6 million OT devices to determine when to generate an alert on anomalous behavior. This can eliminate up to 70% of alerts caused by benign anomalous behavior by knowing when new or different is not a risk, allowing operators to focus on real incidents. This asset intelligence feed also includes end of sale and end of support information to help with obsolescence management. Operational integrity. The same monitoring that allows the Nozomi solution to discover end devices and provide security monitoring can also provide insights into existing system instabilities and even predict future outages. It does this by looking for devices that have high levels of retransmissions, have stopped communicating, or have higher or lower than expected throughput. Although not necessarily an indication of cyber attack, operational integrity provides massively invaluable insights into why OT systems are not performing well. Just about every deployment I've been involved in has quickly identified significant issues, explaining the poor performance the end customers have experienced over weeks, months, and sometimes even years. Time Machine. The Time Machine is an analysis tool that allows for the recording, review, and comparison of regular snapshots taken of the monitored OT network in order to support forensic analysis of changes occurring over time. When selected, Guardian no longer displays the current live situation, but the status of the OT system back at a given point in time. 2 snapshots can be selected to show what changes have occurred between the 2 points in time, i.e., what was added, removed, or changed. A typical use case would be, is my network back to its original state after a maintenance intervention? Smart polling. The capabilities so far described, including asset discovery, vulnerability matching, known threat detection, anomaly-based intrusion detection, and operational insights, has relied on passive monitoring of the network traffic only, no agents and no active querying. However, the Nozomi solution can enhance passively collected end device information using extremely targeted active queries called smart polling. Smart polling is an optional capability that avoids the potential negative impacts of wholesale scanning by surgically querying selective end devices using their native protocols. A popular use for smart polling is to enhance the reporting of vulnerabilities associated with Windows-based machines such as operator and engineering workstations. Passively, Nozomi can identify the type of operating system and Service Pack level such as Windows XP Service Pack 3 and report vulnerabilities associated with this. However, by using smart polling, the Nozomi sensor can query these passively discovered Windows machines to determine which patches have been applied and therefore which vulnerabilities have been addressed already, something not possible through passive monitoring alone. Similar strategies can be used to enhance the information collected for other types of end devices, such as Linux machines, PLCs, networking switches, firewalls, CCTV cameras, etc. Integration and interoperability. The Nozomi solution provides extensive third-party integration and interoperability as standard, including firewalls, SIEMs, SOARs, CMDBs, and endpoint protection systems, as well as integration based on open protocols such as syslog, cfleaf, JSON, etc. A number of native plugins exist for third-party tools based on the Nozomi network two-way open API, allowing for richer, more contextual information to be exchanged. Examples include FortiSOAR, FortiSIEM, QRadar, QRoC, Splunk, and ServiceNow. Firewall integration also allows for a level of automated cyber incident response in response to rogue device behavior by offering policy insertion, node blocking, link blocking, and session kills depending on the firewall vendor.